Well, folks, it is beetle season, unfortunately, and has been for about a month now. And I've been laid up on crutches for 2 weeks now, with another 4 weeks to go. I had knee surgery. So, I have been unable to come out and take care of my beehives. And I have my apprentice, who I was hoping I'd be able to lean on a little bit heavier. But, you know, he's got things to do, and I've got things to do, so... You know, for example, yesterday I canceled on him and told him don't bother coming over. But it's been tough, and I'm not the type to want to sit down and lay around. I'm really not. It really frustrates me, especially when you've got a lot of stuff you need to get done or want to get done. But I noticed I came out here the other day, and well, the last time my helper was here, I guess a week and a bit ago, my number 7 hive that used to sit over here. Good, strong, healthy colony. They were all they were sitting on that cinder block. They were all piled up down inside the hollow of the cinder block, and I thought, man, they need to be split. You know, they're way crowded. So he opened them up. Nope, slimed. And so it was actually a triple deep, all slimed out. And so I had him, you know, tear it all down. Good job, honey. That's not the right way to do it, but good job. So I had him tear it all down, and he tried to set them up in this note box, and they just didn't take to it. They kept going back down onto the brick, oriented. They were kind of some in and out of the box, but they just didn't stick. And what also happened was a lot of the foragers from them started going onto this number 15 hive, and lo and behold, it also got slimed. So here I've got 2 colonies that, in a normal instance, I should have been able to spare. I should have been able to save them just by setting them up on fresh foundation, you know, getting them cleaned out, getting them comfortable again. And I just couldn't, because I can't get out here. I can stand here like I'm doing now, standing on crutches, enough that I could pop a box open and look and see what's inside. But if they need any sort of action, if I've got to, you know, carry a box to them, if I've got to split them, I can't do that. And yeah, I feel like I probably could, but I don't ever want to go through this again with knee surgery, so I'm following the doctor's orders to a T. I'm on these crutches for 6 weeks, whether I like it or not. So this sucks. I don't know how many other colonies I may have lost. Hopefully not too many. Hopefully most of them back in the main yard were stable. It'll just be one of those things that once I get back on my feet, I'll have to go through and inspect them all. But really the reason I wanted to make this video, I don't want any, you know, pity. I'm not asking anybody to come help me. The real point here is 2 things that I wanted to talk about. The first is, obviously, if I had a full-time reliable helper, that would be a big difference. And you know, not to say that that my intern is not reliable, but I mean, he can't drive himself over here, so I got to go pick him up. But the bigger thing is he's just not quite as confident yet. So he wants me to stand out here and, you know, be able to watch him, and he's not quite sure what he wants to do. And I understand that. Obviously, he's still learning. He's a beginner. I was there at one point, so. You know, really having almost like a business partner, somebody who, you know, is as confident as you, can do all the things you do, just as a backup plan. And even if that's, you know, your mentor or just another fellow beekeeper who you can kind of lean on, you know, that would help. That would have prevented, ideally, that could have prevented some of this if I could have had somebody else just come over here once a week and work through my hives. But that's kind of, you know, how it goes. I'm kind of a fly alone kind of guy. As much as I want to have a helper, I can't afford one, you know, and most hobby beekeepers can't. The other point that I wanted to talk about was, you know, as a hobby beekeeper, I have always made it a point not to rely on these bees for anything. You know, I have found a way, I've touched on it before in other videos, you know, doing removals and teaching classes and selling bees, stuff like that. I've found a way to make it profitable for me at my scale. But I've always made it a point that that money does not pay my bills. That money is used to, you know, make an extra mortgage payment or, you know, buy the kids something nice. It's never relied upon to pay the bills that keep us in our house. So obviously when you get into, you know, higher levels of beekeeping, you know, a sideliner is somebody who's doing a high enough level that they do rely on the income. And of course then you have the commercial level guys who that is their business. And I understand that, but you know, I guess the point being not necessarily to tell you as a hobbyist not to rely on your income, because shoot, for most hobbies you lose money. The point I wanted to make here is that even though this really sucks, I've got hives getting slimed right and left, and there's nothing I can do about it, the point is it's okay. in my mind, I'm going to write this off as a natural disaster. And if I lose every single colony, then so be it. You know, lessons learned. Certainly I don't want to. That would be a real shame. But it's always something that can be rebuilt. So I've had a few people offer to come over and check on them for me and do things, but you know, I don't want to be relying on those people and then be indebted to them. So to me, yeah, this is just this is a lesson learned. You know, if I had a choice, no, I wouldn't have gotten knee surgery done, but I've been putting it off for 6 years already. So probably should have got it done way back in the day and it wouldn't have been a problem. So I've rambled, I've talked a lot, but I guess I just owed you all a video if nothing else. But again, I just want to talk about, you know, the that you should have a plan B, have a backup partner, have a helper, have something, because you never know when something like this might come along that you all of a sudden you're down, you know. And yeah, knee surgery is something, you know, I could have put off even longer, but God forbid, you know, you're hurt or you're in an accident or you have something else happen that just like that, bam, overnight you can't check your bees. They do, you know, they take care of themselves, but in certain conditions they do require some babysitting. These 2 hives, for example, this one was a cutout. They need some babysitting to get set back up and established right. So whatever. The number 7 colony that we tried to spare, I don't know what happened to it. I harvested honey off of it. Last time I checked it, everything was great. And then just something happens with these pesky beetles, and I still have not pinned it down. Something happens that demoralizes these bees, and the beetles just own them. So like I said, that's the sad reality of it, but that's the way it goes. I guess I just wanted to talk to y'all for a while. I kind of miss doing my bee stuff, so this is the best I can do.